And probably things because we're going to follow that. That should be really a sequence that follows.
You know, they just don't, you know what I mean?
And take from that, like she mentioned,
What's your meeting?
All right.
I'm going to be doing, I just, I'm going to be on
Yeah, we're going to get to it. Okay, yeah. All right, if I can get everybody's attention. So, I'd like to hear, did someone hear something about people just wanting to know more about the standards? Just more about the standards. Did someone hear the conversation about that?
We just talked about that. I know in my district, I don't think teachers are aware of all these new, they're aware that we're being required to change our curriculum. Whether they've actually looked at the new standards, I can't say that they have.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think of the teacher's job. I mean, the last thing they're going to do is that one more big thing, when, especially as the years are progressing. Yes.
I think there's also a mistrust among teachers, or one of these, listen, if I wait around long enough, the state will drop this one too. You know, it's kind of like a train, there'll be another one. And I think that's a big thing, because we have started the discussion, but I don't think people think it's really going to happen. And I think the reality of it is what we need to, I don't know, I mean, it's how I feel about the way we do HESPAs now. We stop everything we're doing in March and test kids. I don't get that. But that's why I asked the question about when do you plan to give these new end-of-year tests? You know, are they going to be truly at the end of the year? My next question was who's grading it, but I thought that was too explosive a question to ask. But I think for us it's going to be mistrust.
Right, my big one is how long is it? And I can talk that they're not up to that.
I've worked in New York State, and I think regions work, okay? You may like them or not like them, but they do work, and they do assess what is being taught. It's the two things go hand in hand. And if they change that, they change the assessment. So as the curriculum changes, to me, that was a good model that we certainly could have adopted here.
It was clear, but you had a whole culture around it being clear.
Right.
You know, that you knew that
And that's our problem here.
And right now, there's no clarity.
And I think,
Right.
I think the teachers need to hear, perhaps from other people,
Right.
this is here to stay, this is a national, you know, incentive, this is something that we're all going to be doing, national initiative, I'm sorry. But that, to me, is the biggest obstacle, because I'm a high school principal, and high school teachers are very different.
So I've got a good thing for high school.
Oh, good.
We need to raise their
Bring
level
it
of
on.
concern even more.
Good.
So, because we know that our 3 through 8s have lived in a culture of testing for a long time. So they already know about that piece of their job, whereas high school's going to do a little bit different. One more thing. Anything else?
I was just going to say, to add to that, I think the reality is going to hit the teachers when they understand that part of their evaluation is going to be based on student performance. And they'll have to understand that it's going to play a big part.
I'm glad you brought that up, because really the only part in the title of this, the evaluation part, is I want to make the point that all of these things are together. And I think what we've been trying to talk about, superintendents I've been working with, teachers I've been working with, is to say, you know, we've kind of had it. You know, we kind of want to get a little attitude about, you know, the federal government keeps telling us we're supposed to do this, and the state keeps telling us we're supposed to do this. And a lot of the things they're telling us we need to do, they're sensible. You know, teacher evaluation, I think, is really sensible. We've not had the greatest teacher evaluation in the history of public education. But we're like, fine, we'll take it, and we're going to make it ours, we're going to make it our own, we're going to make it work, and we're not going to wait for the next memo to come out unexpectedly from Trent to do it. You know, we're just going to take these things, and they are all together. So teacher evaluation, what am I evaluating teachers on? I'm evaluating them on their classroom practices, which is key in every one of the rubrics that comes along. In those classroom practices, I expect to see the Common Core standards, because we're going to have student testing that fits into that same thing. We need to have coaching, we need to have professional development. All those pieces, they're not different individual mandates coming, they're one big piece that fits into one supportive system. And I think if we think of it that way, it's going to be more helpful. In the last session I was in about leadership, I was starting to see those sections in the rubrics about teacher evaluation that are going to support the best practices in that classroom, where a teacher can say, some of them are funny. In Marshall, it's like, feels students can't learn anything, except by their natural ability. Does not help students who are struggling. That's one of the things along the way. So they're very specific, and I think they can support us with some of this. So the Common Core Standards is about this idea of college and career readiness. And I did want to say, and Penny did have a good point about that. I know our teachers freak out because college to them was college. And to say that I have to have my student ready for college, what does that mean? And it is a very reasonable bar, I believe. I think of it as this way. College and career readiness means for college that students are able to take credit-bearing courses when they enter at the first level of math and the first level of English language arts. That's really what it means. It doesn't mean that they're going to be successful in a pre-med program through college, or they're going to be successful in an engineering program, but that student can take math and can take English language arts at a college credit-bearing level. There is something raising to the level of scandal in this country, I believe, and Berkeley community will be part of this, in the number of students that they are accepting into their institution and then charging them for courses that they won't give them credit for. And that's becoming a real problem. So we need to be in partnership with this. This is not our fault. This is just a problem that from both sides we have to attend. Yeah, I put this slide up here about determinations will be discussed at this September 2012 governing board meeting, and it looked like some of that was even alluded to in her presentation. I really just put that up there to show you that this is evolving. There are things changing literally week to week in this, and a lot of the questions that we would have liked to have answered 6 months ago, especially about testing, some of that's starting to emerge now. I think the big problem with this is both boredom and disdain. They're sort of like, I can't be bothered. And I'm using that picture because she's really proud of that now. It's being used all over the place, but that is the face of disdain in the modern sense. So this is an expectation for when you're sitting down with your faculty. Those are two things that I'm almost going to predict off the bat that you're going to have to confront. So that's one thing that you're going to have to confront. The other one you're going to have to confront is the straw man argument. And the straw man argument is something that I like to talk about when we have discussions about difficult topics. So the straw man argument is that I present a position that we want to discuss. I present an idea A, and then someone goes to debate that position, and instead of debating my position, they create a straw man and argue from a prepackaged position that they would rather answer to. So as you present these things for the first time, you'll do that kind of like big presentation about this. Then you'll start to get questions like, so you're telling me that if I have a struggling student in my class, they just fail and have no chance of going to college. You're telling me that every one of our students has to have a laptop in their class so they can all take this test at the same time on the same day. And now I have to say, no, that's not what I said. Now I'm back